Welcome everyone to the Winter City Council meeting for Monday, March 4th, 2024. At this time, the City of Winter will implement roll call.
Councilman Clay?
Here.
Councilman Hockett?
Here.
Councilman Klunt?
Here.
Councilman Schramm?
Here.
Councilman Schuyler?
Present.
Councilman Sprinkle?
Here, here.
Only once.
If you'd please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Council, having had time to review your packets, are there any conflict of interest in this evening's consent agenda or agenda? Seeing and hearing none, Chair will move on to this evening's consent agenda. Council, we will add a fourth item to the consent agenda. This afternoon, you were emailed a second resignation in the Corrections Department. So there's actually two. Knowing that, is there a motion on this evening's consent agenda?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Is
with the
there-
addition of 4.
With 4 items. Is there a second to this motion? Councilman Schuyler with the motion, Councilman Hockett with the second. Floor is open to comments, questions, or point of information. Question.
Could you tell me who the two resignations are?
Point of information.
The first one is Mariah Koenig in the Corrections Department, and the second one is Marie Medicine Blanket, also from the Corrections Department.
Any other comments or questions?
Were they full-time or part-time?
These are both part-time.
It's Koenig, Koenig,
Yes.
Yes, sir.
and first name,
Mariah.
Mariah.
Council, Chair calls the question. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda with item number 4 added, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it, and this motion carries. Having had time to review your packets, Council, is there a motion on this evening's agenda?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second that.
Councilman Schuyler with the motion, Councilman Sprinkle with the second. Floor is open to comments or questions.
Mr. Mayor, I
Point of
would,
information?
as a point of information, there is in fact a bid opening to be laid before council tonight, so I would ask that you change that bid openings from none to 1, in which was the Bailey's Complex improvements
In the motion?
in the motion.
I will amend my motion to include the Bailey's bid
Opening?
opening.
I'll
correct.
second that.
Councilman Schuyler with the motion, Councilman Sprinkle with the second. Chair will call the question, which is approved of this evening's agenda with the addition of the bid opening for Bailey's Complex included. All in favor, would you please say aye?
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it, and this motion carries. Council, we move on to recognition of visitors and communications this evening. As with all city council meetings, we make a 10-minute window available for anybody who wants to address the Winter City Council. Available. Is there any public input? Having no public input, the City of Winter will now move on to recognition of visitors. Tonight, we do have a mayoral proclamation. This proclamation is from the office of the mayor. The proclamation reads as follows. Whereas individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities, their families, friends, neighbors, and coworkers encourage everyone to focus on the abilities of all people. And whereas the most effective way to increase the awareness is through everyone's active participation in community activities and the openness to learn and acknowledge each individual's contribution. And whereas opportunities for citizens with intellectual and developmental disabilities to function as independently and as productively as possible must be fostered in our community. And whereas we encourage all citizens to support opportunities for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities in our community, including full access to education, housing, employment, and recreational activities. And whereas individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities deserve nothing less. Now therefore, I, Jody Brozick, Mayor of the City of Winter, do hereby proclaim March 2024 as Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month. Dan wants a picture of all of us. He's already in the back, so.
Which wall?
All right, very good.
One more item to be considered under recognition of visitors and communications. The City of Winter has a communication on new hires over the last 2-week period. Do you have any new hires?
Mr. Mayor, there are no new hires.
There are none. That concludes recognition of visitors and communications. There are no department reports for this evening. As was added to the agenda, we move on to bid openings. And today at 1 o'clock, there was a bid opening, and in attendance were Public Works Director Troy Kruger, Deputy Finance Officer Holly Lillebo, and City Attorney Paul Jensen. The bid opening was for the Bailey Complex Improvements Project. We had two bids that were submitted, one by My Turn Play Systems out of West Fargo, North Dakota, and one by Dakota Playground out of West Fargo, North Dakota. There were 6 items in the packet to be bid. First item was item number 1, a playground set installed including borders and mulch installed. That item received from My Turn Play Systems a bid of $106,860. Item number 2 was a bid packet on softball, baseball windscreen. No bid was received from My Turn Play Systems. Item number 3 was a softball fence top cap. My Turn Play Systems, no bid. Item number 4, a border for the playground. My Turn Play Systems, no bid. Item number 5 was a chain link fence installed. My Turn Play Systems, no bid. Item number 6 from My Turn Play Systems was the ball field backup or backstops. Item quantity 2, price would be individually. There was no bid. On the second bid from Dakota Playground, item number 1, which is the playground set installed, including borders and mulch installed, there was a bid of $119,945. Item number 2, a softball, baseball windscreen, Dakota Playground, no bid. Item number 3, a softball fence with a top cap, Dakota Playground, no bid. Item number 4, a border for the playground, Dakota Playground, no bid. Item number 5, a chain link fence installed, Dakota Playground, no bid. Final item, item number 6, a ball field backstops, quantity of 2, priced individually, Dakota Playground, no bid. It is the recommendation of Public Works Director Troy Kruger that this matter be tabled and referred back to the Parks Committee for further review. That being stated, point of information from Troy Kruger, our Public Works Director.
So if you'll recall, this is a grant that, it's a matching grant for the city of Winter. During budgeting season last year, we didn't know if we had the grant or not, so we didn't budget an amount in the Parks Department for this project. So because it's over $100,000, we were required to go out to bids with it. We've done that, and we need to go back to, I refer it back to the Parks Committee meeting so we can discuss it further.
Council, that does conclude bid openings. Excuse me. This evening, under public hearings, there is one public hearing. Is there anybody here that would like to testify in the public hearing for the transfer of an application of an on-sale liquor license from Wings and More to 141 East 2nd Street? Hearing no public input, council, is there a motion on this item?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the public hearing for the transfer application for an on-sale liquor license from Wings and More to 141 East 2nd Street.
Is there a second to this motion?
I'll second that.
Councilman Schuyler with the motion, Councilman Clunt with the second. Floor is open to comments, questions, or point of information.
Mr. Mayor, I'm not going to
Councilman
trouble
Clay.
you right now because you're filling in. But Mr. Jensen, everything's up to date, everything's good, everything's in order. There's no reason at all that we have to deny anything with it, correct?
My review shows everything to be in position to go ahead and approve. If the council chooses to do so, there's no legal reason to prevent you from doing so. Just to make clear, the application here is basically to give them a different address where they will be located.
I could be completely wrong, but wasn't there some certain setback type rules with the medical marijuana place and alcohol selling?
Nothing that is going to affect this that I'm aware of.
Okay, I just want to make sure we didn't approve
I
something.
know that
isn't-
was looked at, I myself didn't look at it, but there's nothing that's going to prevent
Okay.
this particular one.
I just want to make sure we didn't
I
approve
believe
something.
that had to do with the same entrance to the, you could have both in the same building, but you had to have separate entrance.
Separate entrance.
Okay, could be, yeah,
I
I
think
just
that's
want
what
to make
you're
sure we
thinking,
were okay
yeah.
there.
Yeah, we're fine.
Yep.
Hearing no further comment, Chair will call the question, which is approving the transfer application of an on-sale liquor license from Wings and More to 141 East Second Street. Council, all in favor, would you please say aye? Aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it, and this motion carries. Council, there is no Board of Adjustments for this evening's meeting, as there is no old business. New business consists of 9 items this evening. Item number 1. I don't know if you have this in your package. Do you have the names listed? You do not. There is a second one that we did not add that will come at a later time.
Mine,
Yeah, yours did not get added, so that will wait. Item, or are you going to do them both under one?
I think you need to do them separately.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think we'll need to wait.
So, council, I have submitted an appointment of Justin Whedon to the Planning and Zoning Commission for a 5-year term. With that appointment comes the necessity for a motion and approval from council. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion to go ahead with the appointment of Justin Whedon to the Planning Commission for a 5-year term.
Is there a second to this motion?
I'll second that.
Councilman Hockett with the motion, Councilman Clunt with the second. Floor is open to comment or question. Councilman Schuyler?
is Mr. Whedon a resident of Winter?
Yes. Any other comments or questions?
I don't know if I can legally ask, is Mr. Whedon the mister, or is he one of the kids? I just don't know.
It's the Mr.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Hearing no further comment or question, Chair will call the question, which is the approval of the mayoral appointment of Justin Whedon to the Planning and Zoning Commission for a 5-year term. Council, all in favor, would you please say aye?
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it, and this motion carries. Item number 2. Council, do you have a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I'd make a motion to donate our budgeted amount of $18,064 to Main Gate.
Is there a second to this motion?
I'll second that.
Councilman Clay with the motion, Councilman Clunt with the second. Council floor is open to comments or questions or point of information. Councilman Clay? You're the motioner. Floor is yours first, if you'd like.
They need the money. We budgeted. It's time to give it to them.
Any other comment or questions?
Just so the public knows, it's in lieu of the
With an
It would cost
addition,
them to rent their office from us.
but there's an additional amount on top, above and beyond the in lieu of rent.
It's rent and a cash.
Rent at a stipend.
Right, that's the correct word, a stipend.
Yep.
And I think the stipend is 5, I don't remember.
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Rent was 12, you can't pull it?
I think it was five. I think it was five.
Yeah, so do I. I have that in my mind.
Mr. Mayor, for the council's sake, we should let them know that because of her unavailability tonight, she appeared in front of the committee last week. Made the request officially through the committee for her unavailability tonight.
Hearing no further comment or questions, Chair will call the question, which is approving the donation of $18,064 to
Mr. Mayor,
Main.
do we need to roll call this?
Pardon me?
Do we need to roll call this?
No,
Oh,
not
dollars
on
and
this
cents.
donation, we do not.
Okay, sorry.
Because it's already part of your budget.
Okay.
Chair calls the question, which is the approval of $18,064 to Main Gate Counseling. Council, all in favor, would you please say aye?
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. The ayes have it, this motion carries. Item number 3, council, do you have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the election workers for April 9th, 2024 election. Joy Tebrick, Kay Berg, Cheryl Schroeder, Sharon Eady as an alternate.
Is there a second to this motion?
I'll second that.
Councilman Clunt with the motion, Councilman Sprinkle with the second. Floor is open to comment or question or point of information. Hearing and seeing none, Chair will call the question, which is to approve the election workers for April 9th, 2024 election, which is Joy Tebrick, Kay Berg, Cheryl Schroeder, and Sharon Eady as the alternate. Council, all in favor, would you please say aye?
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it, and this motion carries. Item number 4, council, do you have a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I'd make a motion to destroy the meter deposit records from 2000 to 2018 that are in the finance office.
Is there a second to this motion?
I'll second that.
Councilman Clay with the motion, Councilman Clunt with the second. Floor is open to comment, questions, or point of information.
Yeah, I have a question, Mr. Mayor. So if I gave my deposit in 1995, are you destroying the record of that deposit?
The physical records are destroyed, but they're backed up. Everything is being backed up right now electronically.
Okay, but-
These are the physical records.
Okay, I understand that. So how will I be able to prove that, that I get my deposit back that I made in whatever year it was, 1995, if we're destroying everything from 2000 to 2018? I'm assuming everything prior to 2000 has already been destroyed?
It has, and it's been recorded in the
It's on
finance.
Now it's on digital or
Yeah.
cloud or something? Okay.
Yeah. All this is the destruction of the physical records to free up space.
Okay.
It's a good question, though. Public probably wants to know. Hearing no further comment or questions, Chair will call the question, which is to approve the destruction of the 2000 to 2018 meter deposit records in the finance office. Council, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it, and this motion will carry. Item number 5. Council, do you have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the lease cancellation with Guardian Flight for a cabinet at the fire hall and change the 2024 lease amount to $350.
Is there a second to this motion?
Second.
Councilman Clunt with the motion, Councilman Hockett with the second. The floor is open to comments or questions, council. Or point of information.
Is the $350 just prorating it for the January 1 till now?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
That $350 does include a 90-day cancellation in it also. So the prorated includes to this point and 90 days into the future. Hearing no further comments or questions, Chair calls the question, which is approving the lease cancellation with Guardian Flight for a cabinet at the fire hall and change the 2024 lease amount to $350. Council, all in favor, would you please say aye?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. This motion carries.
Was that to be a roll call?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It is, I'm sorry,
It is, because it's a lease, I have to stop and go back. I was not looking at that. This will be roll call. Councilman Clunt,
Yes.
Councilman Hockett,
Aye.
Councilman Sprinkle,
Yes.
Councilman Schuyler,
Aye.
Councilman Clay,
Yes.
and Councilman Schramm.
Aye.
The ayes have it, and this motion carries 6-0. Item number 6. Council, do you have a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to set the Board of Equalization meeting for Monday, March 18th, I would presume 2024, at 4:30 PM.
So second to this motion.
I'll second that.
Councilman Clay with the motion, Councilman Clunt with the second. Floor is open to comment or question. Hearing none, Chair will call the question, which is to set the Board of Equalization meeting for Monday, March 18th, 2024 at 4:30 PM. Council, all in favor, would you please say aye?
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it, and this motion carries. Item 7, council, do you have a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I'd make a motion for approval of Resolution 2024-5, amending certain personnel policies.
Is there a second to this motion?
I'll second that.
Councilman Schramm with the motion, Councilman Clunt with the second. Floor is open to comments, questions, or point of information.
Mr. Mayor, if I may.
Mr. Jensen, the floor is yours.
Thank you. The main crux of these, and there's a few different policies, but they all relate to bringing our policies current and in agreement with some of the actual practice that has been ongoing. And one of these actually is something that was necessitated because of when we determined under FLSA, Fair Labor Standards Act, that the 911 employees would no longer be participating in the 2-week, 80-hour time frame. We had to make these adjustments in order to be able to get to compliance and provide the ability for them to continue to schedule as they have been. Otherwise, if anybody has questions, I'd answer them, but that's really the crux of what we're doing.
Questions, council? Hearing none, Chair will call the question by a roll call vote. Councilman Hockett,
Aye.
Councilman Sprinkle,
Yes.
Councilman Schuyler,
Aye.
Councilman Clay,
Yes.
Councilman Schramm,
Aye.
and Councilman Clunt.
Yes.
The ayes have it, and this motion carries. Item number 8, council. Do you have a motion?
I have a motion. Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to purchase a bucket truck from Alltech.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second that.
Floor is open to comments or questions or point of information.
Thank you. Mr. Jensen, obviously, we have to, because it's not in the budget, what you're telling us here, somebody's telling us here, that we have to do, we have to do a resolution by ordinance or whatever to, it's just worded weird in my opinion.
Well, it's a ordinance amending your main budget ordinance to provide for the purchase of this truck, which was not included in the original budget. It isn't Sourcewell qualified, so we don't have to go out for bid on it, and the price is as appears accordingly. But it needs to go through the process to amend the budget in order to make it work.
The verbiage of the motion is the only problem that I had. I didn't like how the motion was worded, but
So are we approving to spend, for the electric department, to spend cash, or are we approving to just spend it in a different area and the bottom line's still the same?
It's a good question. This ordinance is for unappropriated cash to be added to the budget that you passed last September.
And so your understanding of the procedurally where we're at, this is a first reading of an ordinance, which is the way we would have to do to modify the original budget ordinance.
Councilman Schramm.
So if I remember last September when we adopted the budget that we made for 2024, we were on absolutely skin of our teeth trying to have enough money to fund the things we were going to plan on doing in 2024. So I see in our packet, we have a option of a lease of what looks to be $5,000 a month, which would be a $60,000 12-month payout. I don't know, I didn't figure out if we don't get the truck till July, when do we start the lease payments? I don't know any of that. Are we leasing this truck, or are we taking it completely, paying the $250 rounded $1,000 for this truck? Just a question I have.
I'm going to ask for a point of information, Troy. The $249,104, that represents a 100% purchase of
Yeah,
this.
so last year during budgeting season, we presented you with a lease. This went back to committee earlier this year, and the committee decided just to purchase it outright instead of going through the leasing option. So this is a 100% purchase of the vehicle.
It was like $50,000 savings by purchasing it straight out than the interest.
But the basis of my question was, where are we gonna find, if we didn't have enough money to fund all the things that I know Councilman Clay wanted to do last year, where did we get the money, the $250,000 then to outright buy this truck
From
in
cash,
2024?
from cash on hand in the electric department.
Electric department had the cash.
Okay,
Yeah.
And we budgeted something for the lease.
We
I believe.
budgeted the 1 year, wasn't it?
I'm pulling it up right now for you guys.
Yeah.
so I know that the electric company funds most of our city operations, other than the law enforcement center. This unused cash, that's what was gonna be for transferring to the other departments, or is this money on top of that?
Yeah.
This
What
is-
we already budgeted to transfer to other departments?
So the electric department has approximately $1 million in a reserve. They have a little over $1 million in cash on hand. This is not money that will be transferred out of the electric into the general fund. This is cash on hand in the electric department. It does not affect their budget, other than it will come out of their cash on hand. So it's not budgetary money that gets transferred into the general fund.
So you just mentioned, Troy, and I think I understand, but I want clarity for myself and anyone else also. We have $1 million casualty reserve fund here.
Yep,
Plus there's $1 million cash on hand here.
correct.
And this 250, 249 is coming out of the cash on hand that we did not budget it. We kept our budget as tight as possible. And as that time, we decided if there was things that came up along the year, we were gonna have to do a supplemental budget by ordinance.
I'm going to be speaking without actual hard numbers, but I'll guarantee you they're within 2%. In the cash, the electrical cash reserve, the electrical emergency reserve, there's $1,058,000. In the unappropriated cash, which is cash that has just come back from other budgets, there's $1,350,000, maybe $58,000. There's about $2.4 million between the two funds. This 249 would be coming, if you pass this ordinance, from that $1.35 million unappropriated cash line. And instead of your looking at your budget here really quick, the bucket truck lease is in here for $31,000.56. And when they started taking a look at the interest over the time it took to pay this off, it was the recommendation of the two council committee members to send this to full council with the recommendation of buying it from cash and not paying interest, council.
51,000 plus interest savings. To
How
buy
much?
it instead of lease it.
Pardon me?
51,000 plus interest.
Okay.
You're saving 51,000 by
Buying it.
outright.
By not leasing it.
My question is for Mr. Jensen, and this is a lot of the motion that I have issues with. So as we went through the budget process, we were told over and over and over that if we decided to do something like this, we would need to do a supplemental budget ordinance. Is that specifically what this is?
This is a supplemental budget ordinance.
Okay, it's not worded that way, so to me, I'm like, hey, is this a supplemental budget ordinance? Because it's not saying that to me. It is. Okay,
That's what this is.
without those words
There's more
being
than one
specifically
way to do a
included.
supplemental budget ordinance. This is one of them.
Got it. Mr. Mayor, I will amend my motion, okay? I'm gonna amend my motion to, the first reading of ordinance. I had to have a motion before we could talk. I'm gonna amend my motion for the first reading of ordinance 1071, an ordinance amending the electrical fund 2024 budget for the purchase of an all-tech bucket truck at Sourcewell contract price of $249,104 and delivery of $2,085.
Is there a second to this motion?
I'll second that.
Councilman Clay with the motion, Councilman Sprinkle with the second. Chair will call the question now by a roll call vote, which is approving first reading of ordinance 1071, an ordinance amending the electrical fund 2024 budget for the purchase of an Altech bucket truck at Sourcewell contract price of $249,104 and a delivery fee of $2,085. Councilman Sprinkle.
Yes.
Councilman Schuyler.
Aye.
Councilman Clay.
Yes.
Councilman Schramm.
Aye.
Councilman Clunt.
Yes.
And Councilman Hockett.
Aye.
The ayes have it, and this motion carries. Council, item number 9, if you would please include in your motion the donation of item number 2 in any motion that you make. Or of new business item number 2 in any motion that you make on item 9.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the claims as presented with the addition of the donation of $18,000 and $18,064 to Main Gate.
Is there a second to
I'll
this
second
motion?
that.
Councilman Schuyler with the motion, Councilman Sprinkle with the second. Council, the floor is open to comments, questions, or point of information. Hearing none, Chair will call the question, which is to pay the claims as presented and to include the donation of $18,064 to Main Gate. All in favor, would you please say aye?
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it, and this motion carries. Council, that does conclude new business. For public awareness, there will be a motion for an executive session when we come out on the other side. This time, the city of Winter will move into the executive session if we have a motion and a second.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to enter into executive session at, what time do we have?
7-Eleven.
7:11 for a personnel issue per South Dakota Codified Law 1-25-2 subsection 1.
Is there a second to
I'll
this
second
motion?
that.
Councilman Schuyler with the motion, Councilman Sprinkle with the second. Chair calls the question, which is to approve a motion to enter into, at 7:11 PM, a executive session for a personnel issue per South Dakota Code of Law 1-25-2 subsection 1. Council, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. We are entering executive session.